The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
This week's episode of PSVG Prime is brought to you by the amazing Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/PSVG, including, but not limited to, Coach Hulk, Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh Barboni, Chris M., Devin Tice, Paul Calico, Kyle Hyman, and Benny Lou. A big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, of course. Each month you get exclusive episodes of PSVG DLC, the newly reformatted Arcadia Academia, and of course, Kevin Hates Everything direct to you, as well as being entered into our monthly giveaways. So current reminders, congratulations to Paul Calico, who got the snazzy PSVG black polo, who's already sporting it and posting on social media, might I say. Bravo to you, sir. Well done. But this month, the current offering includes that $20 Apex Legends credit is still up for grabs, as well as to $20 to the eShop of your choosing. But this month is sponsored by Nintendo Shack, and they have added in a copy of NBA 2K Playgrounds 2. That's the good Playgrounds game, not the bad one. So you don't have to feel bad or weird about picking that one. But to get in onto all of this action and to help support us, the entire PSVG podcast network, head on over to patreon.com/PSVG. But now, on to this week's episode of PSVG Prime. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of PSVG Prime. It is I, your host, Kevin. Happy to podcast in a somewhat regular format where I'm not just regurgitating something that came out of an E3 presentation for once, which is awesome. Very happy to be here. We are the flagship show of the PSVG Podcast Network. And joining me this week, unfortunately, Mr. Lucas Rose could not make it because it wouldn't be a Father's Day without having a child get sick and have daddy have to help with that, because that's what dads do. But have no fear, I'm not flying solo. I have yet another dad with me, and Mr. Donnie Reese.
Great, Scooplings. What's up?
That was very mellow.
Kind of mellow today. I don't like family things. I don't like family days.
Don't like family or don't like family days?
I like family, of course. I just don't like family days. I don't like having an itinerary and doing things and having functions. It's never been my thing. It always kind of puts me, not like in a damper. I'm not like depressed or something. I don't know. It just weirds me out. I got this thing about being in like family social situations. It always kind of bores me a little. I feel like every time we're together with, I don't know, like my in-laws and the kid, like we talk about dogs, gardening, like all the time. It's very boring. It makes me yearn for like talking to anybody else. You know, it's like, can we talk about anything else? I don't know. And it just like,
have you guys seen E3?
Yeah, it gets me down. It really does. It gets me like in a mood. So yeah, I'm in a mood. Sorry, Kev. Sorry, listeners. I mean,
sorry, listeners.
I'm here. I'm excited to talk about games. Don't get me wrong. Except I'm not depressed or anything. I'm ready to go to sleep.
I can promise you we're not going to talk about dogs or gardening. I don't think, unless one of those games come up in our list.
Like one of the things that we talked about today over at dinner. We talked about like the Facebook outrage on like my in-laws' neighborhood, how they get upset if your dogs get off the chain. And see, it's dumb. It's dumb, mindless stuff. Also, how Kevin, how was your Father's Day?
We did a lazy day. I was down at the beach house with the in-laws. Conversation isn't quite about gardening and dogs.
Like, but do much for you on Father's Day?
Well, I didn't have to do anything, so that was nice. Like,
no, I mean, like, but do they ever like? Do you get like gifts or anything? Like,
yeah, I got a little gift. Nothing too major. Actually, it was a little bit more than I would normally spend. That was kind of my wife's deal. Is she wanted to get me something that I wouldn't buy myself, so it wasn't like a video game or a T-shirt or anything like that. So, no, it was a little something, and then I basically got the day off from having to be dad, unless I wanted to.
I wish I told my wife. Now this was a joke. Don't internet. Don't overread this. But when they asked me last week what I wanted, I was like, "How about you and the kids just go?"
Yep, I get that. I'm fine.
Pack up and head out, and I'll stay here and enjoy my day of solitude and peace. And but I got chocolate, which I mean, if you're, I eat like sour candy. You see me,
Sure.
I'm eating Sour Patches right now. So listeners, so I don't even like chocolate. I was like, yay. And I got like a card, and I was like, yay. And then my wife was like, your gift is in the mail. And I was like, okay. And I just looked at her and I was like, I remember this next year for Mother's Day. Like
This is Chucky's doll.
This is
another
coming
Chucky
back.
doll.
This is coming back. It's not. No. But yeah, I don't know. Family days, not my thing.
No, we played some board games, which was fun with everybody, and then
I wanted to play board games, but then the in-laws came over.
oh yeah. So my in-laws didn't. They were hanging around, but they didn't play, but they also didn't stop us from playing. It was just me and the kids.
No. You can't do that. They either have to play or they feel left out. The mother-in-law takes it personal, and you just can't do it. Oh, and they brought their dogs. So I had their dogs like riling up my dogs and scaring the cats. Just, dude, it's a rigmarole. It's a pain in the ass. If you can't tell me, it's just a pain in the ass. I don't like it.
Fair enough.
It's a shame. They love me. They're like super nice, supportive people. But, I just can't take
You just wanted a day off.
Concentrated hours of them.
That makes sense. It makes sense. So, all right, let's get away from the unfun subjects and let's talk about the things we want to talk about. That's video games.
Yeah.
Considering we haven't really done that today,
We
either of
haven't
us.
talked about video games a lot this week at all.
No, dude. I actually feel weird not having podcasted in like 3 days. I think I had off, if that. And then I was editing some stuff when I wasn't recording, so it's all good. But we're going to talk about non-structured video game stuff. So I don't have to talk about just what happened in Bethesda or just what happened on, Microsoft or whatever the case is. We get to be free on this one. So tonight we're going to talk about our top 5 games that we saw at E3. But before we do that, let's catch up on a little bit of what we've been playing because we haven't been able to talk about that really in any show. And I think Donnie and I are going to have a little bit of overlap here because we both kind of jumped into some things that were on Game Pass. And so, Donnie, if you played something and want to chime in, feel free to do so as we do it. But I'll start with one I know you haven't played, Fallout 76. We know Bethesda at the conference kind of are trying to still make amends to gamers who purchased this game and were unhappy with it. And one of the things they promised us is NPCs and more story content coming soon, but that's not out yet. But what they did add was the Battle Royale mode. Nuclear Winter, I think they called it, whatever it was.
I was so excited for you to see that because I knew it was happening.
Yeah.
And I didn't think you were in the chat, and I ruined it by telling because I wanted everybody else to know that it was about to happen, and I just didn't think you were going to be in the chat. I felt robbed.
No, I'm happy. It was fun. So I played it a few times, and they actually kept it. They said they were only going to do it for like the week of E3, and then they're going to take it back out because it was just a beta.
Right.
But they actually said they're leaving it in the game. They're going to continue to work on it, but they're not going to remove it because they got, according to them, positive feedback on this mode.
I mean, they already released it half broken. What's another beta? Like, just throw it in there, man.
Well, the Battle Royale actually isn't, I don't want to say it isn't broken. It isn't any more broken than, let's say, PUBG. It actually plays pretty much identical to PUBG in both looks. It looks like PUBG because Fallout 76 already has that graphical thing where it looks just like it.
They missed a prime opportunity for Fallout 76 Battle Royale mode to have 76 players.
Yeah, I really don't know why they didn't. And maybe it will. I don't know. But actually, no, they can't because you're automatically putting teams of 4. So numerically, you wouldn't be able to. So maybe that has something to do with it. So yeah, you're in teams of 4. It's fun. You have to find your gear. You take gear off other people. It's all about like who gets the best stuff in this mode. It's not so much. You can still get sniped, and there's certain people like will camp and hide and stuff like that. But that's a lot less effective in this game. It's literally like, hey, if you find power armor and a big old gun, you're going to win. Like, that's just kind of how it is. So it's a matter of scrambling, finding resources, and putting together traps and things of that nature. So it's pretty fun. So I'm actually excited to see more of what they have in store because this was a good positive one. I haven't dove back into the regular core game yet because I want to try some of these other games out.
How does it play? I'm not a Fallout player, but I kind of know, like, so you have like gun controls. But then also you've got like the power up ability where you slow everything down.
That's removed in the Battle Royale.
Oh, so you can't do that at all.
You can't do that. There would be no way that they'd be able to implement that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then how does it play? Like, am I wrong for saying like I don't know that Fallout is known for good gunplay?
It's not because it always feels heavy.
Okay.
It's more about the story and the environment. So you're right. It's not something you would typically think like, hey, Fallout would be a great fit for a Battle Royale.
When I think like shooters, I don't think Fallout. And I don't think Fallout players think Fallout.
No, exactly. And have you played PUBG at all?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It literally plays just like that.
Okay.
The only difference is you don't have to get the attachments for the guns. Like you don't have to pick up the rifle and then the sniper piece. It's like, no, you will find either a rifle or a sniper rifle. And like, you don't have to worry about that management. So you just grab the guns and whatever you got. And you do have the ability of, like I said, crafting certain things, which is unique to this. And it's not crafting is in the sense of like Fortnite where you're building forts. It's like, no, you can actually build a trap where it's like you can build a laser turret. So if anybody happens to come by, this thing will pop up to life and start shooting them like a robot. You could set landmines and stuff like that where people will crouch through the bushes, and if they step on it, boom, they're toast. Like, so you have that element to it. So that's a little bit new. But as far as like the gunplay mechanics, it plays pretty much identical to PUBG. So I wouldn't be surprised if PUBG tries to sue them later, maybe, because that's what they do.
I'm super glad that they put it in there and that they're like, we talked about this before. Like I said, they've got to fix this game.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to put time into it. They can't just give up on it because one, there's no Fallout on the horizon. The next Fallout's a long way away. Mm-hmm. You can't just turn your back on that customer base like there. It's a big part of what Bethesda does. So I'm glad they put this in there. Give somebody, something to do. Maybe they pull this mode out and do it standalone as free to play or something that's possible.
I can see that, sure.
But you let me know when the story comes. I'm interested to hearing from people when the story mode mission. I don't know how that is. I want to know how it is and if it's worth playing, and maybe I'll download it.
Yeah, as I said in the Bethesda recap, this was the greatest scam. Not really scam, but the best way they tried to tie it in, saying, well, we know we messed up. Like, they've been open and honest admitting about it, but they're like, okay, so here's what we did. We took the story, in air quotes, of Fallout 76, and that was like, you're the first people out of the vault. So yeah, there was nobody there, which, I mean,
they should have just said, I'm sorry.
Well, sure. But that is written into the story. So it actually works. But they're like, and now year 2, all these people are now out of the vault. So now you have NPCs. I'm like,
who cares?
Well, okay. I'm like, it's a weird sell, but they're not wrong. It's just, it was a weird way to approach it.
Yeah.
But moving on from that. So let's talk about some of these Game Pass games here. One I know you were playing today, and I don't know if you've played prior today, but I played it during E3, was Supermarket Shriek.
Yeah.
This was on Xbox's main stage, actually, during the like little ID Xbox like indie reel.
It's been on their main stage all year. Like there was a fan fest. It's been on Inside Xbox. It's been kind of it with like After Party. And a couple others have been a part of like this is their ID at Xbox game package. Like this is one of their games. And
you're a guy pushing a shopping cart with a goat, and you and the goat scream, and that's how you move around is by triggering.
I do love the screaming part of it. Like when I saw, like when I first got to the first menu and just saw they go, I was like, oh, I get it. Shriek. Now it's starting to make a little sense now. And it's pretty funny. It
is. It plays basically, if you're not familiar with it, I want to say similar to like a Smash TV, where it's like, hey, you're dropped into this arena and it's full of traps and obstacles and you have to get to the end. And that's what you're doing in the shopping carts. But the thing that personally I didn't like, and I don't think I ever got it from the trailers that we saw, was the actual screaming aspect. Like that's how you move, is the propulsion of the character screaming. So like right trigger is goat, left trigger is the dude, and you push them in sequence to make your turns and movement. Like that's all controlled by that. I thought we were actually running around with the joystick.
Yeah.
And so the shrieking, I get it. The shrieking is what the gimmick is. That's how it makes it more difficult to get through these things. I just wasn't expecting that from these trailers. And for me, after playing it for like an hour or two, I was kind of like, okay, I get it. I'm done. Delete.
I'm not in any, like I'm basically in the same boat. It works very much like a rowboat. When you only use one paddle, you go in a circle, and use the other one, you go forward, right? And if you stop, you slow down and you roll. It's not it falls in line with like indie games that are, the fun part is the challenge of doing it.
Sure.
I'd be very interested in playing this if 2 players could play as each person.
Oh, like a Snipper Clips approach where you can be like, aha.
It could be like an Overcooked multiplayer type deal. I never got a chance to play with the kids, but I showed it to them. They thought it was funny. But I was thinking that when I was playing it. Now I played the first like little world, like the first 8 levels or so.
Yeah.
And
that's about what I did.
It's hard. Like it's definitely difficult. And the interesting, I don't think the game's for me. I've never really liked games like this, but in the same breath, like I'm almost fascinated by who it is for, because I see the leaderboards and the rankings when I finish the levels. So like I get through like the second level, like 30 seconds. And I'm like, man, I did pretty good. And then the leaderboard comes up and somebody got through there in like 8 seconds.
Yeah. I'm
like, how is that possible? How did you do that? They just have it down pat. Like they're screaming around that like it's nothing. And there are all these arcadey traps and things in the way. Yeah. These giant blades that swing back and forth, the floors that move, fire comes up, things shoot out from the sides. So it's super fun in that regards, and I think it's I like it. I think it's a quality indie game. It's not going to be for everybody. Most indie games aren't. But like I said, it'd be cool if there was a party multiplayer aspect to it. I was thinking like a 4-player race.
Oh, so yeah, if you get a bunch of people playing at the same time.
If you could race against each other with 2 players, each controlling one half of the cart, that'd be crazy fun. Like that would be stupid, dumb fun. And I'd be into it.
That's true. That's a good impression there. I like that. Next one I played, I know you played this, and I think you had said this also wasn't for you, was Void Bastards.
Yeah.
This one I spent a lot of time with, probably like 15, 20 hours worth, I think, over last week. Like this was my game I played all during E3, was this one. Josh talked about it on Board of Video Games, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but basically you're on this loop. It's a roguelike type thing where you're dropped into the spaceship. You go through the spaceship collecting items to build these different items to get to your next objective, so on and so forth. Upgrade your weapons, upgrade your armor type things. But it's all done in a very British, funny narrative behind it. The characters are very snarky, and basically you're a completely expendable prisoner that if you die, oh well, I'm just going to reanimate another person and they're going to go and continue doing what I want to do for this AI character that pushes you through. But it's a lot of fun, and the one of the things I like best about it, although I think I only died twice, was every time you die, your character comes back and they have different qualities. So the first character was a smoker, and he would be hiding, but he would occasionally cough because he's a smoker. And if you cough, that would alert enemies around you, and all of a sudden you're getting swarmed by mobs of people. So like when he died, the next person I had was paranoid. And there's always this special music that would play when you were spotted, so you know, like, hey, I'm about to engage into battle. She was paranoid, so at random times that music would just play as if she was spotted, but there was nobody around, kind of deal. So you have to deal with these different things as well as the general awesomeness of the game. So I had a lot of fun with it too. I did eventually delete it because I knew for me this was going to be like another Fortnite thing where I'll just keep playing it and not play anything else. So I eventually went ahead and deleted it just so I would stop playing it. But I definitely enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. If you're looking for a different take on a shooter, it's pretty cool.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
The style and everything, it looks great. So this and the Outer Wilds.
I had that. And I took that off my list, but yes.
So I played them both. They've both been showcased on Game Pass quite a bit. I'm not going to say that what I'm about to say is any shape of an opinion because it's really not. I just want to say that for me to put a whole lot of effort, like some try hard into a game, I probably already have to be invested.
Sure.
And at this point in my game time and my age and like my gaming history, if I can't really understand a game somewhat simply, or it can't like walk me into it, I'm not interested. And both of these games kind of fall into it for very different reasons. But like the whole roguelike thing has never been my thing. It's why I'm not doing it either.
Yeah.
But and the Outer Wilds, like the whole conceptual thinking and getting all the pieces and talking to people and clicking through all I was like, no, it's not what I'm looking for. It's I have like, I don't know, a high barrier to entry or something. I just I'm like, no, this requires too much effort on my part. That's not why I play games.
yeah. Outer Wilds, I was really bummed out by too. I had it on my list. I took it off because I didn't want to be too negative, but you opened that door, so we'll run with it. It just wasn't what I was expecting it to be, and I know we've had some people. I think Jared's high on it, isn't he? Yeah, so Jared was pretty positive about it, and some other people.
A lot of people really are.
Have been.
So I got to the point where we blasted off.
Yeah.
Did you get that far?
Yep.
Okay, because apparently it has a really bad opening. A lot of the reviews that I read checking into the game, they're like, if it's one of those games. If you give it 10 hours, like, man, no.
I don't want to give something 10 hours to get started. You get an hour or two tops to get started. That's it.
I think so. Interesting thing, maybe piggybacking a little bit off of what Kyle has said about Game Pass. I definitely find myself with limited patience on Game Pass games. I think it's because I didn't invest anything into it. So I'm real quick to be like, no, I'm out. And just close it down, uninstall it, and move on to the next one. Because it's like it's like when you have your phone, like your music on shuffle. Like you could listen to a song that's not really doing it for you right now, but you could just swipe right, and maybe that next great song is right around the corner. It's like it's like that for me. So I'm like, I don't know. Both of those fell into that. I was like, this is not really doing it for me.
I'm with you, and that reminded me because I just added another one to my list that I totally forgot I even played, Metro Exodus.
I played that today.
Okay. All right. So I'm interested to see what you think. So I downloaded it. I was excited to play this one. I have played one of the previous Metro games. So I haven't played them all, but I did play one. So I understand what's going on. I get it. I was hoping things would be better with this one because this one had a lot more steam behind it. Like people were talking about Metro. Every other Metro game just kind of came out and people heard about it, knew of it, but they weren't like, nobody was jonesing for a Metro game. But whatever Microsoft did when they first put this on their stage at last year's E3, people got excited for it. Like it looks cool.
I think that was it. I think it was the demo. They had a really great demo. The showcase looked gorgeous.
And after playing the game for, I probably gave it 5-6 hours. I'm wondering where that cool gameplay and footage is because I'm not getting it. Story is okay. It takes a definite twist from the rest of the Metro universe in the past. It's kind of, I saw it coming early on, but it's a twist. So they're not keeping the same methodology, the same routine as the other two games. But dude, the writing and the voice acting is so bad.
It's really bad.
It's so bad. Like the game looks great. Like it looks like a good game. I'm having fun playing it. Guns are okay. But the writing and the voice acting is so bad. I cannot stomach it.
Yeah, and I've said for many years that I typically will not try to critique a game for voice acting, but this is one case where it stood out to me. It's funny that you brought that up because it was right on the tip of my tongue. It takes me so out of the game so fast, and it's so obvious. It's like listening to John Madden, like play-by-play in Russian. It's so on the nose. It's just like, that was intense. Get your gun. Let's go. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, shut up. Even if they had good voice acting behind it, the writing, the dialogue was still so stiff, and it was like a middle school student writing a paper. That's what it looked like to me. It was so bad. So such
a like the open area.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, because that's where I got to, and I think the guns are good. I like the way, especially they sound. When you shoot the gun, I was like, man, this is kind of cool. And then you keep playing, and it's like it's a beautiful world in like a grungy Wolfenstein like type of way. You're like, definitely. Oh man, this is kind of good. Man, I hit like the 3-hour mark. I couldn't take those voices anymore. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, the writing, the story, the narrative, the plot, literally everything outside of shooting the guns and looking at the game is subpar.
Which is so weird because everything else looks like a AAA game, and then the voice acting is like a bad indie game.
Kind of.
It's sad.
Kind of, and it is kind of sad. And I'm glad it came to Game Pass. I'm glad I got to try it.
Right, I would have been mad if I paid it. If I bought this, I would have been pissed.
I would have been upset too. I would have returned that thing like that weekend.
Yeah. On to something I'm not so hard on, at least not anymore. Dead by Daylight. So I played this previously, and I just thought it was okay. They definitely have done some quality of life improvements since I last played. I'll be first to admit that. So the game is very different now. And I mean, it's going on to its 4th year, I think is what I read when I was reading like the roadmap for them. Like they're still doing updates. They're still adding things. Really cool game. If you're not familiar with how it works, it's a 5-player multiplayer game. One person is the killer. And they have different set of abilities and capabilities that they're able to do. And the other 4 players are dropped into basically this room or map. And your goal is to get engines going or restore power so you can make your escape and get away from the killer without them tracking you down. You're able to work together. You can work independently. You can help each other. You give each other perks depending on how you level up. Really cool concept. I'm having fun with it. It is hard. And I know Donnie said that before. It's not an easy game to win or be super successful at, but there is a leveling up capability that gives you different powers and perks. So I think some of it is simply like you're going to die a lot at the beginning and eventually your character might get better. My only, not gripe, the only thing I'm kind of upset about is all the really cool DLC they have. There's no pass for it. There's no like, hey, pay $30 and you get all these great killers. It's like, nope, every single one is $7 or $8. I don't even know what it is normally. Like that was on the gold sale for E3.
I thought it was more than that.
It might be $10. It might be $10 per. Yeah. And I'm like, and while it's cool, and I get it, like I'm sure a bunch of that money goes to the licensing for like the Scream Killer, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers. Like I get it, but
man,
yeah,
come on.
Sorry, not everybody knows that, so I always refer to it as Scream Killer. I know it as Ghostface, which is cool, but it's like for $10, you're just getting the killer in the map. Like you're not getting a whole bunch of other stuff. And the thing is, like, if you don't have that stuff, you can't even play with somebody else that has that stuff. So it's like it's all super kind of limiting. So that part's a little disappointing. I wish they just did like a Nightmare Pass or something to just release all that stuff.
So the thing that scares me a little bit with this, because I played it, I downloaded it, a couple weeks ago, and I started playing it, and it's a lot of fun. I really like it.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that I was thinking is like this. Okay, this could be like my Fortnite. This is more my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm not very successful at it. Whereas I feel pretty competent in Fortnite. My first weekend playing Fortnite, I got like second.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, I can be good at this. If I really wanted to play, I could win at this. I don't feel that way at all. I'm always like the first person to die. And I think it's because there is a good tight community for Dead by Daylight.
Yes.
And it's not like welcome to like onboarders. Like you're just jumping in. Everybody's like level 50. They've got all the special capabilities, like what all the things. I'd be very interested in like a unlimited, a free weekend, like a level 100, like everybody could jump in and be the same thing. That would be interesting. I'd like to see what that feels like. But I would buy so much of this DLC. The part of it that put me off, and I think the part of it that made me like, I haven't uninstalled it, but the part of me that was like, okay, maybe I'm not going to get into this, is that all of the good characters, they have this big label that says they're hard to play with. like there's every survivor and every killer has like a difficulty level, and they'll tell you like, all right, this is the easy person, here's the medium, and then like Freddy, Jason, everybody's like super hard. I'm like, oh man, I think it's hard on easy. Like I'm having a rough go of it now. I don't want to pay you $12 and have a harder time at it. Like that doesn't sound good at all. But I'd totally be there if there was a Chucky. Chucky's not in there. But I was thinking about it when I was watching, because I did the tutorials and everything. It'd be really cool if the killer was like super short. That's actually something that like that
could be a different dynamic.
Yeah, it could be a super different dynamic because you couldn't see him half the time.
Yeah, he wouldn't be as like physically tough,
right?
But he would hide like a
mofo. It'd be so good. And I think the reason you can is he can't like throw you on hooks or whatnot.
That's true.
But, I do love the little escape room element of it. It's fun. It's a fun gameplay.
Definitely.
And to get a little E3 in here, I did watch some on-floor hands-on with the Switch. Switch version looks pretty good. Okay. I saw it docked. I was like, yeah, that's about the same game I played the other day. Like that's pretty good, actually. A lot better than it looked in that Direct.
Yeah, that Direct made it look rough.
It looked rough. It looked a lot better. Now maybe it was portable. I don't know about all that, right? But it looked pretty good. It looked decent. But I probably would never pay for it. That's why I'm glad it's on Game Pass. And I would love to do a PSVG night, Dead by Daylight, if we could play as a team.
I'm down for it.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can create private rooms.
Feel so terrible and alone all the time, because the day I played it, I was just playing by myself.
Me too. You can create private rooms, so we can totally do that. We have enough people here on Game Pass, and Josh and Kyle, they have it. So I have not deleted it either. It's still sitting on my hard drive. Same as you. I haven't deleted it yet, but not sure how much I'm going to play it. But you're right. If we all just kind of jumped in and play it, that'd be pretty fun.
That was my long lasting takeaway is I don't think I'm ever going to invest the amount of time that it would take to get good or to level up, if you will. So for me, this will probably always just be a party game.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's there. I will play with it if friends want to play it, but I'm not going to play it on my own.
Okay. Heard it here first. That might be the next PSVG game night then. Might do Dead by Daylight night. All right, last one I have to talk about so we can get on with E3 stuff. And anything else you've been playing as well. I know we've been playing a lot of the same stuff. Forza Lego. Oh, yeah.
Forza game is amazing.
Oh, dude. And I wasn't super high on Forza 4. I had fun with it, but after a while, I'm kind of like, okay, I get it. I don't need to do everything on this map. But I was like, oh, the Lego comes out. And my daughter, I showed them the trailer, and they were all both excited for it. So like, oh, when's that come out? And I kept thinking in my head it was coming out this upcoming week as we're recording. Not that it came out, and I looked at my watch, and I was like, oh, it actually comes out today. I'm going to go download this right now. We're going to play it later on. And it is so much fun. I think that's how you best sum it up. It's fun. It brings some life to the game, gives you some humor to it. I love the fact that they added a Lego radio station that only plays Everything Is Awesome on a constant loop. That is amazing to me. But yeah, it's more Forza game, but you get the couple of unique cars that are done in Legos, which is always fun to see, like, a Lamborghini race against a Lego Mini Cooper. But they do it, and it's done well. It looks great, runs great, and just a lot of fun overall.
I have been playing this game nonstop for the last 2 days. I've done all the collectibles. I've smashed all the boards. I've done all the alien things. I've done most of the street races. I've done everything except like the dirt races are never my favorite. I don't like doing the rally stuff. Plus, I got to switch cars. I don't want to switch cars. I like the McLaren Lego and the Ferrari Lego and all the cars that I've gotten. The Ferrari Lego is OP, by the way. Damn thing is super fast. It's super, super good. All the jumps, I've been going back and trying to beat Nathan's speed traps and all of his jumps, and I knocked most of them down. He's got one jump that I swear I tried for an hour today and I couldn't beat it. And I was like, Nathan has this one. I'm just going to let this one go.
You win this one.
You win this one. But I took down most of the other ones, and the other things I never do are the drift things. I don't drift.
I don't like the drift either. Yeah.
So I don't even do that. But I've been having a blast. This is how I played Forza Horizon 3. I got into it and just got into this world and just kept going to point to point to point to point to point because it was so much fun just listening to the music, jamming along, playing the great racing game that it was. And for a lot of different reasons, I didn't get the same way with Forza Horizon 4. After I not to say bad things about it, but after I smashed the boards and did the jumps, like the racing didn't feel that way. And there was something that I was thinking about today when I was playing it. I was stealing a little of my Empire Thunder, but go ahead and get it out since it's timely. I'd be interested in hearing more experienced Forza people tell me their opinions, because maybe this is just me taking notice or paying attention. I think like the design of the races, the level design going into this is better than I have experienced in other Forza instas. Especially like the what are those gates called? Where you have to like race across the map to the other side. You have the cross country races, but then you have like the gate. You know what I'm talking about? I feel bad now that I don't remember it, but I don't remember the name of it.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So between those and the cross country races, you go on some incredible like weird like places, and you jump through and smash through bricks, and like they play with the sight line a lot. You do a lot of jumps where you lose the sight line, and if you don't know what you're doing, you veer way off path like very quickly. And I was noticing, I was like, I felt like an extra level of attention being needed than I felt in the past. Whereas the past, I was just racing, just fall on the road. Like I see everything's going, and maybe we go over some dirt and some flowers, but eventually, we get back on. This one, I'm like, all right, I have to pay attention, because if I swing 30 yards offline, I'm way out in no man's land. Also, I've upped the difficulty. I started my first 10 races I was winning by a landslide. I think I'm up on the above average difficulty, or the one next up. And so like for me, every race is a little more close. I know that's not like great. I think Nathan and all of them are like, super hard or whatever.
Yeah, playing expert mode. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, like everything matters a little bit more than it used to. Yeah. So I think I'm also paying a little bit more attention to that now than I ever was before. And man, I've been playing this thing nonstop for 2 days, and it's been everything I could have ever wanted it to be. It literally is so good. It's swinging my entire opinion around on Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah, me too.
Like, this is must have. This is probably my favorite Forza experience that I've had today. Nice. And that includes Forza Horizon 3, that includes Hot Wheels, that includes the mountain and all the other things, and 4. Lego Forza is perfect. It has like that Link's Awakening style to it, where it's Lego, and when you think Lego, you're like Lego game, like Lego City. Right. It's not cartoony. No. It's Forza with like realistic Legos in the world. It's odd and it's weird and it's perfect. I could go for an entire game of this.
Oh yeah,
like this
forever.
Like just keep doing this constantly. It's super fun. All of the jumps are great. I keep going on finding all of the different bricks. That's the whole thing. I was like, not only do you have to do all the points, but all these different little things you earn bricks for, which helps you upgrade your home. And that's the whole point, is you're building this mansion and all this different stuff, and you're earning all these different cars. And then on top of all of that, if you go into the brick menu, there are 1,000 different little like mini missions that you can accomplish. So do like 5 jumps with the Mini Cooper, or do this thing with the Jeep, and that's super fun. That's why I like Forza.
Sure.
I've never been motorsport fan. Everybody that listens to PSVG knows this, so I don't need to go on about that. I like open world, just drive around, have fun. Like just, like I'm Assassin's Creeding this game with a car. Like that's my Forza experience. And this Lego is that and then some. It's given me everything I could have wanted from that. So I think I'm going to, finish the event races. Those are the ones I haven't done. I've just done the one. Mm-hmm. So I think I'll do that, and then that might be it. Like I think I may have wrapped everything up by then. I'll eventually create a rally car, and I'll get Mo to give me my suspension and tires and everything I need, and I'll do the dirt races, and that'll be it. So I mean, that's not to say there's not a lot there. It's $20, and you're getting a solid 12, 15 hours out of this. And definitely. So I've been telling everybody on Twitter that I can tell, like, I hope anybody out there with Game Pass isn't like looking at this and being like, oh, I don't want to pay for it. Pay for it. It's worth it.
Great. It's great.
Like reward them for their great job and their great effort, and show them that you want more of this. Go give them $20 immediately.
I agree. It's absolutely a brilliant idea. I think it was very, very well done. That's it for me as far as what I've been playing. Is there anything else you'd want to talk about you didn't bring up already?
Not really. I played Ruiner, which I've already told you about privately, but Ruiner is on Game Pass. It's a game that came out years ago. I've never heard about it until it came to Game Pass. I was just combing through my Game Pass stuff during E3. I started playing it. It's basically Travis Strikes Again, which is to say that Travis Strikes Again is basically Ruiner, because like this came out before Travis Strikes Again. It's very Suda feeling. And if you were ever wondering like, oh, like Donnie likes these Suda games, I don't know if I'd like it. Try it out. If you have Game Pass, try out Ruiner. And if you like Ruiner, I would bet you money that you would then like Travis Strikes Again. They're very similar in games. I started playing No More Heroes 2. I started posting pictures and everything on Twitter and in the Discord. I was just kind of in the mood after the reveal and everything. So I started playing that. And I played it for like 2 or 3 hours. I'm just debating if I just lay it down or if I actually want to finish it out. It's been a while. It's been a long time.
Oh yeah.
Doing Caroline the cat games. Was playing with Jean, trying to like entice her. Like maybe if I show her cats, maybe she'll give it a try. And then I just playing Catherine for no reason. Just started playing Catherine again. That I keep looking at that full body edition that they're about to release on PlayStation 4. For the life of me, I don't know why they're not putting that on Switch. I would really love portable Catherine. That'd be fantastic. But the 360 version is still fantastic, and I just started playing. It's a great story, so I was kind of hanging out. That was kind of my Forza, palate cleanser. I just started playing some Catherine today.
Sure. All right, cool. Well, then let's move on to the main focus of tonight's show, and that's kind of recap our favorite games or top games we saw at E3. Initially, it was going to be top 3 games, but then Lucas had to miss out, so we bumped it up to 5 so we could fit more content in here. But I do have Lucas's list, so he is gone but not forgotten. We will remember him. Play some music in the background. Yeah, I will remember you. Anyway, moving on. Exactly. So let's go number 5. Let's go 5 to 1 if you ranked them in that order. I know Lucas and I have.
Yeah, so we need to talk.
Okay.
All right,
you sort of wrenching my plans already?
Yeah, I have a lot of games here. I brought 20 games.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
I brought them in 2 different lists, but here's the issue that I had with this topic. I'm not exactly sure if I should be talking about Donnie's favorite games that I saw that I want to play from E3, or if I'm supposed to be like somewhat critical and like these are the games that I think were best of at E3. So I have like a best of list. Like these are the games that I think like looked best at E3, and then there's like a list of these are the games that I want to play most from E3.
I did games I want to play the most, and I'm pretty sure Lucas did as well by looking at his list.
That's crazy. You realize that, Rick? Because like I have Ghostwire Tokyo on that list. Mm-hmm. We didn't see anything about Ghostwire. We don't even know what kind of game that
doesn't matter.
But it does. You can't say it's like the best of E3.
Well, I can tell you right now that's on Lucas's list. So I guess I'll let you say your option third each time, and you play it by ear, and I guess I'll give you reasons as to why they're on my list. I can't speak to why certain games are on Lucas's list, but I guess we'll figure it out.
I'm just going to talk about games.
Okay,
so listeners at home, I don't have rankings. Like I'm just going to talk about games.
Pick 5 games to talk about them. Okay.
There you go.
So number 5 on Lucas's list is Blair Witch, which was shown at the Xbox conference, releasing in August, which I didn't hear them say, but yet I read online that it's coming out August 30th. So
coming to Game Pass.
Looks cool. Definitely a creepy vibe. And listening to your recap on the Xbox One, I had the same reaction you guys did as you were watching the trailer. The second it showed the person standing in the corner, I'm like, oh snap, Blair Witch, that's awesome. And my brother-in-law is watching the conference with me, and my daughters have no idea what Blair Witch is. Forgive me. I'm just introducing them to horror now. And my brother-in-law was like, no way. Why would it be that? And then like sure enough, the logo came. He's like, oh my God, you're right. I'm like, this is fantastic.
That's the only thing it could be.
Because much like Josh had defended on recent board video games this week was, okay, you can say you're a Blair Witch fan. It's like, did you see the newest one? I haven't.
I did, and it's awful.
And Josh did neither. Blair Witch 2, was that good? No. I didn't like
the woods with like some supernatural vacuum. It's dumb as can be.
So Blair Witch 2 was horrible. And Josh said the same thing.
Super weird, but in retrospect, like it was bad at the time because of what we wanted it to be. Kind of like Bride of Chucky.
Okay.
Bad at the time, but in hindsight, knowing what you know now, not terrible, not awful, not as bad as you probably think it is.
Okay. And Blair Witch 1 I enjoyed, especially at that time, because that brought a whole new genre to horror entirely.
Marketing stuff, man.
Right.
Without all of that, if you had just picked up the Blair Witch off of a movie shelf one day, 10 years after it released, you wouldn't think that.
No, not at all.
The whole everything. It was 1999, man. It was everything goes into it, makes that such a sentimental experience.
Exactly. And Josh said this, and I'm glad he did, but I don't think he even realized how much he kind of alluded to it. Was his thing was he loved the lore behind Blair Witch.
Yes, no, that's very good. Yeah,
and there's great lore. And the thing that I don't think you or Josh or pretty much virtually anybody ever did was there was a series of 3 Blair Witch games on the PC.
Yeah, I never played those.
I played all of them. Not great, but the stories were phenomenal simply because it told the same story of the Blair Witch, but from different points in history.
That's
so you
cool.
have one literally like from Revolutionary War times. Like, so you got to understand the origin of the witch and the story throughout time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you've never got lost in the Wikipedia
it's so good
rabbit hole, the YouTube rabbit hole that is the Blair Witch, there's a lot there. It's a shame that the movies haven't given us what it could be.
Yep. So I'm hoping this game continues at least the story-based aspect of it, like the lore, and gives you a better gameplay experience than what I had on the PC. The PC was limited at the time, so I can't really fault it to a thing, but the writing and the stories were actually really good. It was just the gameplay was terrible. But that's number 5 on Lucas's list. Okay. Number 5 on my list, we just mocked this one as well, was Ghostwire Tokyo. And yes, I totally get that we don't know what this game is. No idea at all. We know Tango Studios is working on it, so we could say, okay, it might be like The Evil Within. It might not be. We have, once again, no idea.
We know it's not a horror game. It's a
spooky game. So. But this trailer, as ridiculous as it is, and let's be honest, we had a lot of trailers at E3 with not necessarily a lot of actual gameplay or details on things. Yep. This one got me very excited just to see this concept of like, hey, here's the story, here's what's happening. It got me so hyped and so psyched for something different. I love games that are based in Tokyo. I think that's a great environment for a video game, especially a modern day one where it's going to be spooky. I'm like, that's just great for me. It's like the marketing's great. I had the Ghostwire aspect, the whole going behind the pillar, and then the people's clothes were just there and they dropped. Like that was the imagery behind it. Just got me so psyched that I'm like, this is going to be great. I personally have a hype for it. So that's why it's on my top 5 list. Yes, we didn't see gameplay. I don't care. It got me excited enough to be excited for it. So.
Yeah, with it being Tango, you expect it to be some sort of adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would imagine, knowing from the trailer, I would guess some sort of adventure, figure out what happened, investigate the clues, dodge the enemies type of thing. But yeah, I mean, I posted all the tweets about Shinji Mikami being there and everything. So of course, I'm all in on it. But this is exactly kind of the point I was trying to make. I'm all in on it, but how in can I be? I can't push all my chips into it.
Right. No, absolutely.
So yeah, in my list, my game of show list versus the games I'm looking forward to. My game of show list are all games we saw played.
Sure,
like, these have gameplay elements to them, so we know what they are. So yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to pick one off of my list here
on your hype meter, then. Yeah,
because I'm eventually going to talk about all of these before the show is over. Watch Dogs Legion comes in on my game of show list.
That's surprising. Okay.
Yeah, because Watch Dogs does not do much for me, but I thought of all the gameplay trailers, they did a lot to make the case for the game. If this game was coming out this fall, I think a lot more people would be more hyped for it. Between the whole grandmas and the drones and the world building and all the things, like they were showing a lot. I was telling Devin, because we were streaming it together, it's kind of like Saints Row. It's like, all right, let's just get crazy with Watch Dogs. They're kind of throwing a lot of stuff at it, maybe taking a page out of Far Cry. I mean, it just seemed a little more wackier, a little more fun. And it looks cool. Like I get the whole idea of your, collecting this MI6 like team to like take down this whole oppression. Like, yeah, it looks cool. It looks fun. So I thought they did a lot for that game, and the game looks really good, and it's coming out very soon. And I thought the gameplay trailer was really good.
See, you need to play 2 because
I did play 2.
It has the wacky stuff too, and the characters are live. Like all right. So,
but I thought it was corny, not like wacky fun. I thought it was more corny than anything else.
I don't know. If you get
on words,
if you give it 10 to 20 hours, Donnie, it gets really good.
I gave it a solid, like, seriously, I gave it like 6 to 8 hours. I played it a bit.
surprised.
It's not like I played the intro and stopped. I played it.
No, I get that. Yeah.
And it just didn't do much for me. I still don't like the driving in that game's terrible.
No, yeah. I am super excited for Watch Dogs. Obviously, I'm a Watch Dogs fan, have been since the first one that everyone hates. I've always appreciated what it's trying to do and everything like that, and I think this one looked great. Was extremely hesitant, and I avoided the spoilers on what it was until it was actually shown at E3. Like, I know you guys posted stuff about it. I just didn't read it. I ignored it. So I heard the name, and that was it. At first, when they first started explaining, like, hey, you could be anybody. That got me a little nervous, but I think it's going to be a little more structured than we think it's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's a very cool idea, getting different characters that have different abilities, different strong points, different weak points. Like, I think that's a great dynamic to make it almost a team building thing. I would love to see what the multiplayer is going to be, because there is multiplayer in Watch Dogs, and in Watch Dogs 2, it was really kind of something different where there were characters playing the game same time as you. And if they saw you on the map, they could hack you, and it opened up like this hide and seek, not hide and seek, but it's like a deadly hide and seek game to stop each other before they took all your stuff. Like, so I'm wondering what this looks like for this one, but I think it was done very well. Trailer almost showed a little too much as far as trailer and gameplay footage. I think for me, but that's just me. I didn't need to see all that. I was sold early in.
I think if they have a really good story, if the writing is really good, I don't think anybody would care, because they didn't really get into any of that.
That's very true.
Spy versus spy thing could get real fun.
That's
true. If they really lean into it. It could be like this Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy thing.
Sure. That's true. But I liked it as well, so I'm there with you. So number 4 on Lucas's list, Evil Genius 2. This was shown in the PC showcase, ironically enough. This is a sequel to a game that I want to say, Donnie, was out like 10, 15 years ago. This is an old school PC game, where it's basically, to boil it down to the most basic level, this is Despicable Me, the video game. Like, you are an evil scientist. You have your minions. You have your lair. You wage war on other evil geniuses and the good people, and try and just take over the world. Like, that's as simple as it is, but it's very funny, very tongue in cheek. And I will say this looked pretty good, at least to me. I don't play a ton on PC, so it's not in my hype list, but I get why Lucas is excited. Him being a fan of the first one and seeing this kind of out of nowhere so far later, I kind of get why he was excited for it. For me, number 4, we already talked about it. Blair Witch, that was on my list too. Right from when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's great. I'm sold. I'm in. I'm excited to see. The only slight bit of hesitation I have is this game comes out 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
We heard nothing about it before, and it's out in 2 months, and it's straight to Game Pass.
Now you're upset that it didn't leak. So you're right. We had the leaks. Now you're like, well, now we're just hearing about it.
I mean, I'm not upset, but I'm hesitant because I'm. Here's my thing: is
I don't think it's going to be like amazing.
Everything that's come to Game Pass, for the most part, my first impression since Game Pass launch, I don't want to say like the stuff they brought after Game Pass, like there's been great stuff, but all their like coming and releasing straight to Game Pass, a lot of those games have just been okay for me. I think the most fun I had was Crackdown 3, and I would never dare say Crackdown 3 is an amazing game. I think it's just one I had the most fun with. So I'm trying to temper my expectations, even though it's on my list, to be like, I'm going to have fun, but I'm not expecting it to be fantastic.
I'm just getting tired of I have said this before, I'm getting tired of like the get lost in the woods, a horror game.
Sure.
While you're
absolutely.
being hunted by things. Mm-hmm. It's like, I think we could get away from that a little bit. Like, I'm all for like Metroidvania, like horror games, and getting all the pieces, collecting all the puzzles. Like, I think after Layers of Fear and after Outlast and after Resident Evil 2 remake, it's like they're all the same thing. Yeah. It's like I'm getting a little, it's not scary anymore. Now it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah, sure. That's fair. You're number 4.
I'm gonna pull Astral Chain.
Ooh.
So Astral Chain looks amazing, and they had their gameplay trailer, and I keep telling everybody, like, visually it has a lot to like, and it's platinum, so there's a lot to be excited for. There's a gameplay trailer that they did on Treehouse and that I posted in our Discord, and that gameplay trailer looks super fun, and the game is like super weird. It's got like this upside down realm you got to go to. Like, you earn all these good cop points by crossing the street when you're supposed to, or throwing away trash. And I'm wondering like how weird you can get with that type of stuff. And like, there's all this environmental things to do outside of the fighting, but obviously it's a platinum game and everything is based on the combat and the action. And the action reminds me so much of Devil May Cry. I keep bringing it up because like this whole, like, you're controlling this legion and its abilities and everything. It reminds me so much of the Devil Breaker. Like, I know it's a different look, like, cause it's got a chain and everything, but it feels very similar to me. And I love the animations that they're pulling off, like the things that you can do, like by like cuffing your enemy or by doing like these tag team animations. They just look like they're gonna be a lot of fun to watch. And the game is coming out pretty soon. I think it might be the same day as Blair Witch. Actually, it's like August 30th.
Oh, it might be.
It's like the same that thing. So I'm really, really excited about this one. I came into this one kind of on the edge with this one. I wasn't really sure, and having seen the trailer and now having seen actual people gameplay and explain it to me, I think there's going to be a lot of things to learn.
Sure.
To get into. I think there's going to be a lot of skills and upgrading, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun button mashing action combat game. And I'm just really into the environments, like that Ghostwire Tokyo thing. It's got this Japanese anime style. Everything's like edgy and like the lights flicker and stuff. Like I'm really into like the environments of like these alleys and then like, this lit up like, Times Square type center and all this type of stuff. I want to see more of that. So Astral Chain.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm reserving all of my thoughts on most Nintendo things because I am appearing on Nintendo Shack, so I will stop there. But if you want to hear, listen to this week's Nintendo Shack. Lucas's number 3, we already talked about Ghostwire Tokyo, so he's in the same boat that I am, that he's excited for it too. Not much more to say there. So my number 3, pretty sure this is probably on all of our lists, Cyberpunk 2077. But here's the thing. Did we see any gameplay?
Yeah, I think that like that long run out trailer that they had was gameplay.
Okay. Right? I don't know. Like it could have been.
It's getting mixed up in my mind because they had a gameplay like element. I think it was behind closed doors, maybe. But I know I've been reading blogs about the press that took this demo, and a lot of, I don't want to speak for everyone, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of them that I read, and I'm talking more than 6, all said this was the best demo.
Okay, great.
E3. I mean, they're like, we went hands on with Cyberpunk, and you're not going to believe it.
Okay,
like they're talking about how this doesn't feel like this gen. This is something. This is next level type stuff. So I'm really, really excited. It looks, I've been in on Cyberpunk since they showed the game. You know, so like, I'm not like, scouring every piece of video I can find on it. I know I'm in on Cyberpunk.
Right, exactly. I'm in the same boat. I'm excited for it. Looks great. I haven't seen, or I haven't read anything rather other than
you should
what we saw, and that's I probably should. But I mean, it's Cyberpunk. Something right there. Me being that 90s kid that we talked about 90s movies earlier, The Matrix, like that's my jam. So like this is like Matrix on steroids. Like this is, next level is being described. Plus Keanu's involved. Can't go wrong with that. So like I'm all for this stuff. Like it's just
the question is like Keanu does does somebody hurt Keanu's dog or Keanu and now you have to go on a revenge mission?
I hope he has a cyber dog, like a robot dog.
It's like you hurt Keanu Reeves and now I have to avenge his death.
That'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
But yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. I'm hyped for that one. So that is my number 3.
I'm going to go out and pull Doom then.
Okay.
Doom is on my short list for game of show. Like if you were to ask me, Donnie, which is the best game that you saw from E3, the answer would be Final Fantasy VII. But very, very close to that answer would be Doom. Doom Eternal looks amazing.
It does.
It looks incredible. I'm amazed, honestly, and in awe of all the crazy things that they're doing with the jumps and the animations and the worlds and the open areas and all the different guns and how smooth everything looks and how fluid everything runs. And just, I want to shoot people with a shotgun hook shot. Like I've been on that for like 2 years now and I can't get over that. But every time they show it, I'm just like, this game looks something else. This is like next gen shooting. I don't know. Maybe I'm too hyped for it. Looks like the best shooter I've ever seen, like in all regards. I look at it and I see what they're doing and they're chaining across things and flying and shooting, turning around and 180. I'm just like, I've never seen a shooter do this before.
Right. Like, I don't get it. Like so I don't think you're going to get a fantastic story out of it. The Doom stories have kind of just been whatever, but that's not what Doom is about anyway. It's about the gameplay. It's about the gunplay. Nobody does it better than machine games does now. And it's like, how is this not spread to all other shooters at this point? Why doesn't every shooter feel this smooth? Like watching any trailer for this looks insane. And the fact that whether you're playing on like a base model Xbox One or you're playing on a high-end PC, it pretty much looks and runs the same way. Like it's nuts.
I had to look it up to be sure, but this is id, not machine.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It looks incredible.
That's
so
what
incredible
it
that I
does.
totally bought the damn helmet. And I can't wait. Like I'm all in on Doom, like Doom Eternal, and I have no idea what the hell this thing is going to do on Switch. That's another part of it. Like I watched that that Bethesda demo, and I'm like, how is that possible? Like,
Did you pre-order on Switch though?
No.
Okay,
God,
all right,
no.
good
Are
man,
you
good
out
man.
of your mind?
No, that's what you when you said that you got confused. I'm like, huh?
No, because
Don't
every
tell me.
time I bring it up, like they keep bringing up like, and it's coming to Switch, and I'm like, how? How is it possible? I don't know how. Like I did play the first Doom on Switch. I didn't beat it. I beat it on Xbox, but I played the first one on Switch just to see what it was like. Yeah. It was competent, but this looks like it's such a whole nother level. I can't even imagine. I have no idea. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see it. It might be like a person watching car wreck. I want to see how bad it is. Oh man, Doom Eternal looks amazing, and I think the hype level is low on it a bit because we've seen it for a while. Yeah. This is a game we've seen for like 2.5 years by now, and there's no like giant story to get involved in it. But all that aside, plus the multiplayer, like this whole 2-on-1 thing, I want to do that.
That's pretty fun. That does look fun.
I want to be the huge grunt just tries to blow up the little Doom people as they jump around and stuff. I mean, yes, Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal. That's fair. This next one. So number 2 on Lucas's list, you're going to be happy here. That is the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
This is number 1 on my most looked forward to like conceptual game list for sure. Huge. I mean, I could make the argument the game of show only because I think it took over.
It definitely took over the news story reels. Absolutely.
The hype train that came out after this. I mean, this is a lasting impression for this E3 was that this was the E3 that Breath of the Wild 2 was revealed at, and that it's a sequel. We don't get a whole lot of sequels in the Zelda lore.
We don't.
A direct sequel. Mm-hmm. I think it's fantastic because I think Breath of the Wild is deserving of such a thing. I think it makes a lot of sense to look at this engine, but even outside of all the things that they did for Zelda, open world engine mechanics, all the things we've talked about, right? All that away. Look at the world that they built. There's a lot of world building that went into Breath of the Wild that now, with a little extra time, you can add characters, add more plot, add more story, add dungeons. Like the world is their oyster because they know everybody's already here.
Yep.
And the internet and YouTube has gone crazy with theories and all that. And I've really kind of given up on the convoluted Zelda timeline. If anything, I really kind of hope they just bash it in the head with a hammer because I feel like we get too tied to it. Mm-hmm. Breath of the Wild is so special. It's so new. Like don't be holding it to the past.
Yep.
Like get away from 1998 again. Like it doesn't have to. Who cares?
And if it's a direct sequel, it really doesn't matter because it's like, okay, well, this ended and now this happened. So regardless of where it fits,
who cares? It's just Ganon. Like, you know what? Like, put one line in there. It's as if he's been encased in Twilight forever, and move on. Like new game. Like just do your little nod and be happy. But outside of that whole stuff, just knowing that it's happening, we knew it was happening. We've known it's been happening for a while. Yep. I made the argument on Nintendo Shack that I think it's happening sooner than people think. And I stand pretty firm in that because they have to have answers for new consoles. I think Breath of the Wild is one hell of an answer. Like you're going to keep people around for that. But in the same breath, Monolith Soft has been hiring for this game for 2 years. They're LinkedIn postings and things like this game has been in development for a while. Knowing that it's been in development and that they're reusing an engine, you have to think this is a little sooner rather than later. I think this is Undead Nightmare. I think this is New Eden. Like this is a new thing to Breath of the Wild. I don't think it's a whole new brand new game. I don't even know if it's going to be like half as big. I wouldn't be shocked if it was short, 30 hours, something like that, a much more condensed experience. But I think it's coming soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the thing I keep saying is, maybe fall the year after next when consoles launch, but like, if not then like that spring, so like on the anniversary of Breath of the Wild. No, right. So if it's not that fall, then right after it, right? Like next E3, they announce, hey, it comes out in March.
Sure.
Right.
I agree. I think that's definitely a possibility there. For me, my number 2, we already talked about a little bit. And that would be Watch Dogs Legions. That was one of the ones I was most excited for, just being a Watch Dogs fan, and I was happy to see it there again. Ubisoft had stuff I was interested in, but we knew we weren't getting another Far Cry. We knew we weren't getting certain things. So I was excited to see one of my favorites that they do actually make was represented in. I like the approach. I like the environment. London, I think it's gonna be fun. So but we already talked about it, so not much more to say, but that is my number 2.
I'm just going to go back to the game of show that I just submitted. I think Final Fantasy VII looked incredible. And that comes from somebody who has mocked and made fun of Final Fantasy players their entire life. Now, that is a tongue-in-joke thing because I'm just not in it. Like, I'm not in on the fun. I'm not in on the buzz. I never played it back in the day, so I don't have the nostalgia to bring with me. And I've never been into the series, so it's easy for me to, like, throw stones, over the years. But that game, it looked incredible. It looked so good. And the demo was everything that I think a fan could ever want it to be. It was like Resident Evil Remake, but they completely changed the way the game was played. It's this whole action-y shooter.
Yeah, it's plays like Kingdom Hearts, as I said on the Square Enix recap.
So, yeah, I mean, it looked amazing. It looked fantastic. And I'm glad everybody's super excited and super hyped for it. And I can't wait for everybody to put their hands on it and play it and have a blast. I think it's really hard pressed to say that there wasn't a more impressive game showing at E3 than Final Fantasy VII.
Fair enough. So now on to the number 1s. Lucas. Cyberpunk 2077 is his top game from E3. So we've already talked about it. We know he's going to be all in. I do almost... Well, considering we haven't seen the gameplay, the only thing I'm a little concerned for Lucas is how it's going to look on his PC. I'm not sure if he's got the super highest end. I know he's done some upgrades, but it's like I'm afraid if this game looks as good as some of these trailers we see for it, I don't know if he's going to get that full experience, whereas the consoles typically handle that kind of stuff a little bit better. Sure. So I just hope it works for him and he's happy with how it looks. That's kind of my whole thing there for him in that regards. But. Well,
if he doesn't, I've got a Scorpio I can sell him as soon as I get that Project Scarlet pre-ordered.
That's true. So. That's true.
At me, Lucas.
My number 1. The internet is going to collectively laugh at me right now. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Festival.
I didn't see that at E3. That could have been.
It was on the show floor.
Oh, okay, but it wasn't the trailer. So Luigi's Mansion 3. I've been happy that they were still continuing on with this game, period, at all. Dark Moon, the 3DS one sequel, I was not a super huge fan of because it was more like mission-based. There was a lot of Metroidvania-ing the game. It was almost like a Resident Evil game. You just constantly had to keep going back and forth to the same things you've already done over and over again. So I wasn't excited for that. But this one, from everything they showed, this is more a page out of the original game. Here's this place. You work your way through. You're not sitting here constantly going back and forth and revisiting the same thing. You're making your way through the mansion or hotel in this case. So the naming convention is a little weird that they acknowledge right away it's a hotel, but it's still Luigi's Mansion. But it looked good. It looked more reminiscent of the first one. Graphics, I think, are great. I love what they're doing with the multiplayer. They're bringing that scare scraper back type thing where you can do basically up to 8 people now because you can have the Luigis and the Guigis. Guigi is Donnie shaking his head.
So stupid.
I agree.
Coming to Smash Brothers character number 4, Guigi. So dumb.
Shadow Fighter. The one thing I will say is I do like how they added an aspect where basically now 2 people can play together. So I like that. While it's Guigi, I'm kind of meh.
Like a ghost or something. Like there's a million ways they could have done that.
Well, Guigi, I have a feeling Guigi is a ghost, but
the lamest answer to that question.
Yes, but also think of like Mario Sidekick through Odyssey was a freaking hat.
And the hat is better than Guigi. Like that's the thing. It has no person.
That's kind of debatable.
No, it's not. It's a carbon clone copy of the character with no appearance. It's just
maybe Guigi is a ghost replicating Luigi.
So
I don't know.
dumb.
We'll see.
So
I like it. I'm for it. I'm excited for it. And I like the fact that I can play with other people. I can play with friends, which Nintendo doesn't always let us do. But yes, I'm excited. That's my number 1.
I'm excited for you. I think the game looked fantastic. I think it showed a level of polish. I like the whole story aspect. I think the visually it looks really good. I like the new mechanics. Hopefully it doesn't feel as repetitive as I think a lot of the Luigi's Mansion games have been.
Sure.
They tend to do 3 or 4 tricks. They do them well, and then you kind of do them a lot.
That's fair.
So I think the new added variety adds a little bit to it. I'm excited about the mansion. I'm hoping there's a little more puzzling in terms of the unlocking the environment. But I've never been super excited for Luigi's Mansion ever. It's just kind of been one of those. I always kind of look at it as a B tier, C tier Nintendo title.
Most people do. Yep.
It's the gap. It gets you to the next one. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel about this one.
I agree. I just really, really hope they do that date before Halloween. Because otherwise, to me, I get they have a huge gap in December, and I think that's where this game is going to land, to be completely honest. But in my mind, this just makes more sense to have it out for the fall versus playing this in December. That's just me. I don't.
Or to be playing with your kids on Halloween.
Right. To me, it just makes much more sense. But I get that sales wise, it may make more fiscal sense for Nintendo to have a big release in December than not have one, and that this would fit the bill for them. But
yep. Yeah. I think it is. I think it's in October, but we'll talk more about that. Yep. Link's Awakening. I think Link's Awakening looks incredible. It comes out super fast, and I don't know if it's even like fair to say that people aren't excited about it, but it seems to be like there is a hype level for Zelda games that this one hasn't yet reached. There seemed to be more noise for Twilight Princess HD and more noise for Wind Waker HD and more noise for Breath of the Wild, certainly. And it's like, oh yeah, they're doing Link's Awakening. And I guess maybe it's just because it's 2D. Maybe that's the thing that people aren't as interested in it. But I honestly can't tell you. I'm going to sit here and try to think real hard. I don't know if I can say for me that I've ever seen a remake look better than Link's Awakening looks. This game looks visually stunning. Mm-hmm. It looks superb. The way that they've completely flipped the entire experience. I'm going to this with brand new. I never played Link's Awakening.
That's right. Yep.
So maybe that has more to do with it because I'm new to it. Maybe I'm more excited than the person that's replayed it. But knowing what the old one was and seeing what the new one was, even if you've played the old one 10 times,
it's going to feel like a different game.
I can't help but think that this has got to be huge for you. And then add on top of all of that, then they also put in Dungeon Maker on top of it. Like, on everything, they're like, oh yeah, now you can build your own dungeons, share them with your friends, and give you a little something else to do. So I don't know, man. I think this game looks fantastic, and I can't wait to play it.
It really does. It really does. And it was on my 5 list, and then I ended up bumping it out just barely. Which, so like, if you really wanted to make the argument that we didn't see anything from Ghostwire, then you can plug Link's Awakening in my list there then. But the only thing that I'm hesitant about, maybe this is why you're not seeing the hype level that you typically would see for a Zelda game, is this game is short. So if it's really just a remake, a faithful translation of that game, like, I mean, you could probably beat this in 4 or 5 hours. So for them to say, here's a $60 price tag, yes, they gave you Dungeon Maker, but really, how far is that going to go? This is kind of a tough sell at that $60 price tag. Now, it's not because it's Zelda. Zelda will always sell, but maybe that's why the hype isn't there, is because knowing, like, I could blow through this game. Like, it's not a terribly deep or hard game, because you remember, this was original Game Boy. Like, you didn't have the battery life or capacity to sit here and play like these 20, 30, 40-hour experiences. You know, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, yes, there are remakes. Those are massive games. Those are a lot longer than this is, I think, by far. So I think maybe that's why some of the expectations are a little low. Not low, but not as hype level as we're seeing with previous Zelda iterations, I think.
Okay.
But we'll talk more about that.
I've got a lot of other games. You want me to go through them? We're not quite at the hour mark yet, so give me 2 more you're hyped for. Okay. I'm going to give you 3. On my game of show list, in terms of what we saw that I got actually excited about playing, The Outer Worlds.
Okay.
That had a really great demo. And the whole Bioshocky vibe that I get from it, and the hands-on impressions with the demo on the show floor that I've read, have me pretty excited about it. Game Pass is shaping up to be pretty awesome this year. You have Forza Horizon 4, which you can play Lego right now if you want, which leads into Blair Witch, which leads into The Outer Worlds, which leads into Gears. And there seems to be a lot of offering, and there's going to be a lot of other indie games and things that fall in there as well. But The Outer Worlds looks like a lot of fun, and it looks really polished. You know, from a studio that I don't have as much history with. You know, when Microsoft was bringing all these people in, you know, they don't carry the weight of a Sucker Punch or a Naughty Dog. Like, I'm expecting, you know, production levels to rival those, and this one looks like it might. It actually looks really, really good. Like, really, you know what, this is a serious game, and knowing that I just get it in Game Pass has me even more excited. I don't have to find the money. I don't have to, like, you know, rob Peter to pay Paul for it. Like, I just get to play this game because it comes to Game Pass. So.
Yep. I'm with you, and I'm excited for it too, because like we said, this very much looks like a Fallout-esque type game, and I'm all for that. So, I mean, by all means, I'm excited for this one too. And like you said, it's great that's coming to Game Pass. Game Pass is just amazing, dude. Like, I really think if and when I'm able to make that jump to next gen, depending on what these price tags look like,
Scarlet, baby.
it won't be day one. I can almost guarantee you, because there's no way I'm coming up with that kind of money for a day one type thing. But I really think I'm just gonna go Xbox and I'm just gonna go Game Pass. Like, I
tweet about next gen.
No.
All right, so he said he was really smart, because I did this for my Wii U and I did it for my PlayStation 4. So he said if you're interested in buying the PlayStation 5 and Scarlet on day one, a really good like goal to shoot for is $1,000, to be $500 each. He says, so if you break that down now, you need to save $60 a month now until they launch. So start putting your money away. So
I won't be able to do it until after Disney, but okay, yes.
When the Wii U came out, when it was announced, I put $20 in a jar every paycheck. I just put a $20 bill in the jar every paycheck, and I will start doing the exact same thing for Project Scarlet. So for the next box, because I'm going to go, I definitely know I'm not getting, I don't even know if I want all consoles next gen. I think
I think I'm with you.
Taught me that it's really hard to shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just have too many games to play.
Yeah.
So what I think I might do is I might go, I'm going to go Xbox with Game Pass, because we're paid up for that forever. And then what I'm probably going to do is whatever streaming option is for PlayStation, I might go that way for exclusives and just stream them as they come out whenever they come out. Yeah. I do think as prices come down, knowing me, I will eventually probably jump and get the other console, because I will. But I'm definitely not going to go there at launch. So I am going to start putting money away. But sorry for the side.
No, that's a good conversation, because I'm with you there too. It's like I just know I can't. There's no way I'll be able to do it. But
thinking about next gen, now is the time.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Before it gets, before it becomes a thing, you put $10 a paycheck away right now, you will have the next console.
That's true.
You just put it in a jar. And don't worry about it. Everybody can afford $10 aside.
Yeah, right.
Put $10 aside, and you will have your next box, whatever it is you want to be. Now, if you want both of them, that's a little harder.
That's totally different. Yeah,
a little harder to pull off.
Yeah. Good call.
Okay, Dying Light 2 is a game that I'm really, really excited for. I thought the trailer sucked.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, the trailer they showed at Square Enix conference was boring.
Mm-hmm.
He showed some zombies, and he like walked across a plank, and he jumped across a roof. That is not what this game is like offering or selling. And if you go and read or watch, but I've been reading because I like to read, go read people that went hands-on, or even go like best of E3 or best of E3 demos.
Mm-hmm.
Dying Light 2 is at the top or second on every one of those lists.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the demo is superb because people are starting to see what the game is. So it's Dying Light, open world, zombie, post-apocalyptic game. This whole parkour, Mirror's Edge survival system, but with shooter and combat mechanics,
mm-hmm.
Okay? Everybody knows that game. It has this very infamous, fable-ish decision-making process now.
Okay, yeah, they alluded to that last trailer. Not this one, but before, yeah.
You may, like, hey, go save the doctor, and you could choose to do that or not. Maybe you do it. Maybe in the process of doing that, you lose a friend. Maybe you don't do it. Maybe later when you need a doctor, he's not there, right. You lose another friend. And these decisions have like this whole positive, negative effect on the world, and the world starts to visually take shape around your decisions. So it's this whole extra layer on top of the survival, on top of the open world, top of the combat mechanics. It's very big. It's almost like that's probably the scary bit is reading, because I've been following this game for a long time. I've read everything there is to read about it, all hands-on impressions, all previews, everything. It seems like maybe they're biting off more than they can chew. I'm a little concerned, like, can they actually pull this off? Because I don't think a game actually has, like, in a way that it matters. Like maybe it becomes a thing that you can do, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. But I don't think so. By all the impressions, people are like, no, like, this is legit. This is serious stuff. This is probably one of those games I've been in all the streams that we were doing with Kyle. I keep telling Kyle that half of early 2020 is going to get delayed.
Oh God. Yeah. It has to. People can't play all that stuff.
Yeah. This is probably on my short list for that because of all the things that I know about it.
That's true.
I'm scared. Like, this thing needs more hardware. It needs more power. Like, push this thing. But maybe it'll prove me wrong. But I'm really, really excited for this game. And I did pre-order it before my Game Pass or before my Gamers Club expired.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to play it. And if you guys have ever missed out, if you can get that Dying Light, the DLC edition, get the Ultimate Edition. They put in all these different patches, all this different stuff. It's a fantastic open world game if you like that type of stuff, especially if you're into zombies. It's a different kind of zombie game. It's not just mow down. You can't. mow down mode. If you have a horde of zombies, you better hightail it out of there. You better get on top of something and start running because you can't fight them all. But it's very good. And then, oh man, I've got so many games on this list.
Nope, one more.
I'm going to read them off, but I'm not going to talk about them all. But you know what? I'll save the best for last. No More Heroes 3. The trailer that hyped me more than probably everything at E3. I knew it was going to be here. Suda said he was going, said he had something to say. He said it at MomoCon. I've been following this whole time. I was like, I know he's going to be there. I honestly thought that meant Suda was going to do an interview with somebody and say, like, we're working on No More Heroes 3. I didn't expect to see anything from No More Heroes 3. I still have no idea. Like, I mean, nobody does because all they did was show us a little game,
right?
CG trailer. This game could be 4+ years away for all we don't know. Nintendo's press releaser says next year.
Travis for Smash,
and it says exclusive. It says next year. I was so excited. I knew it. Did you see the reaction?
Oh yeah,
I knew it. Like when I heard the voice, I was like I knew it. But when I saw the character, I was like, that's not Travis.
No, right.
So I couldn't I don't know. Like I couldn't let go. I couldn't be like, this is No More Heroes. I couldn't. I was like, this is something weird. This doesn't make any sense. Did you see, by the way, the ape out on the screen?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was so cool. But knowing that it's back and that it's full, I mean, I started playing No More Heroes 2 again.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Like, so I'm all in. Watching him pull that suplex.
Yep.
Oh, sweat. Oh,
so good. It was so good.
Can't wait, man. Punk is not dead. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And so that game was probably, almost at the top of my list in terms of games at E3 that I'm really excited for. But obviously it's just a CG trailer. We don't know anything about it. I expect it probably be an 8 to 10 hour hack and slash.
Yeah, just like the other one.
Some girls will be objectified.
Oh yeah,
and there'll be some language.
I'm all for it. I mean, I'm more excited for this one than Travis Strikes Again. Definitely. And that's why I thought it was funny. Like watching your reaction on the trailer. Like I picked it up right away. I'm like, holy crap! This no way. This is this. And then it just kept going. I'm like, all right, yep, it is. It's like.
Even did you know it was him? Like when the mech blew off?
The second I saw the art style, I'm like, it has to be this. Like, I didn't know it was going to be him. I thought it was a character in this game. Like, I figured for sure it was Travis Strikes Again. I just didn't think it was going to be Travis. Like 45-year-old deadbeat dude with a beard. Right. It was just the art style, and I knew it was that game. I just didn't know that specifically was going to be Travis. Yeah.
And then the pyramid. I was so out of it. I was like, I don't, because it is another thing when you're live.
Oh sure.
Because if I was alone, I would have been like, be Travis Strikes Again.
Yeah.
I would have, but being live with other people watching, you're like, you don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, you want to try to figure out what it is. Yeah. No,
I don't want to be just completely wrong. It's like, No More Heroes. Like, it's Astral Chain, dumbass.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes. Very, very, very excited for that. The other ones on my list, just in case anybody don't know, 12 Minutes, Gods and Monsters, Fire Emblem, Carry On, which is a Devolver's show. If you haven't seen it yet, you're the monster and you take out all the people. It's like a reverse Stranger Things thing. That looks super dope. And then Empire of Sin, the real-time strategy 1920s Chicago Mafia prohibition gang.
Cool. All right. Well,
I loved E3, dude. I really did.
Overall, I thought it was good. And a lot of people were like, well, I wasn't that impressed. I was happy. I liked E3 overall. I thought it was a good showing. I thought we saw a lot of things to be excited about. I don't think it was worse than last year. Like I heard a lot of people say, like, "Oh, it wasn't as good as last year." I'm like, I thought it was fine.
Most years, I think this is probably one of the better E3s that I've ever witnessed, especially considering the climate. There's DOM streaming, new consoles in the way. Like the industry is in a hold. It could have been a lot worse. I think.
Oh, absolutely. They're still bringing good games. Like there's still
a lot of 20 games they could have just not showed,
right? Exactly.
Or not spoke about. Yeah. And like I brought it up a bit, so I don't want to belabor the point, but you go back and watch some E3s from like 2010, 2011. Like go back and, as I told you today, reestablish your bottom. Get away from all this. It's got to be a 10. No. Go watch something truly bad. Go watch something really. I got to do that every now and again with movies and stuff. You let my expectations get the best of me. Go watch something truly terrible. And then go back and watch this E3 and you'd be like, this is a pretty good E3.
Yeah.
Because they're way worse. Not even close. But, I get it. Every year, like things change and the expectations go up and up and up and up. But, it seems like everybody's really caught on to, nobody wants business talk. Nobody wants sales numbers or charts. Like all of that's gone. Like we've been losing that. Everything's faster now. We don't have like, entire hour shows dedicated around like 2 games. Like
Yes.
everything, like they've all adjusted. It's been, even if everything that you see isn't for you, like it's really hard to complain that anything was like really just bad.
Yeah. No, it. I'm with you. It makes sense to me. I was happy with it. Overall, I was happy with it. Like you said, we're getting ready for next console, next generation of gaming. Like they really didn't have to bring a lot of these games out. They could have even just scrapped a lot of these games. Said, okay, it's not coming out this gen at all. We're just gonna wait and bring it to next gen. Period.
Remember when we did? We got Mario Tennis and Star Fox Zero.
Right. Exactly. And we didn't get this. Like all these consoles are getting ready to be done. I mean, we don't really know how this next generation works. There's a lot of talk like, hey, everything's back compatible. So I mean, I guess maybe it doesn't matter if that's the case.
That's the part that really helps.
Yeah.
Just apparently we're just gonna be able to take like PlayStation 4 disc, put it in PlayStation 5 and keep playing.
Right.
And that's insane. Like we've never been like, this is uncharted territory for all of us. And if that's the case, then maybe that's what really helped this E3 continue going. But for an E3 that didn't have Sony at all, didn't have Activision, wasn't there, Rockstar didn't show anything, like Call of Duty wasn't at E3, right? They were before E3. So you take out all of those heavy players and that we have new consoles, man, this E3 hit it out of the park. In my opinion, like you probably couldn't ask for a better show.
I agree. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for this evening. We hope you enjoyed our top picks of E3, if you will. And we're sorry once again, Lucas, you couldn't make it, buddy. But
it's my fault.
We represent. Yes, you made his son sick.
He found out I was here, and he was like,
"Just forget this." I'm taking a night off. I don't need to podcast then. But thank you, Rick, for listening. Thank you for tuning in, telling a friend. But most importantly, we ask, as always, that you never stop gaming.
This has been a PSVG production. Any music, sound effects, or the like is owned by their respective copyright holders. No infringement is intended. The views expressed in this production are those of the individual contributor and may not necessarily reflect PSVG. This production may not be repurposed, reused, or redistributed without the express written consent of PSVG. PSVG is powered by patrons at patreon.com/PSVG. Become a patron to get special perks, including access to exclusive content.